Hello, professors. Good morning to all. So, I am presenting before you the higher education module for AICTE. I am Professor Dr. T.C. Chandrasekharan Nair with 40 plus years of experience in industry, academia, incubation, innovation, and startup activities. I am co-founder of Trivandrum Technopark and founder, managing director of Technopark Technology Business Incubator. Now, this Technopark TBA is known as Kerala Startup Mission. I authored a book, The Startup Habits, which depicts about what should be the habits for a startup co-founder. Let us start with Technopark Trivandrum. Technopark Trivandrum started in 1990 by government of Kerala, and this is the first such kind of a park in India. Um, we started in 1990 with a 100% equity from investment from government of India. This is known as the world's greenest electronic technopolis. It's managed by Electronics Technology Parks Kerala, ETPK. This Electronics Technology Parks Kerala is registered as a scientific society and it registered on 28th July 1990, and it's branded as Technopark. This is called as the first and greenest IT park in India, now employing more than 65,000 IT professionals. We have 450 companies um, in four campuses, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fourth campus has been started as Techno City in 2012. Um, More than 1,000 acres of land owned by Technopark, 20 million square feet of built space, and after the successful implementation of Technopark Trivandrum, we moved to Kochi, that is the second largest city in the state, and started Info Park, that is another hub IT park in Kerala. Um, that was in 2005. We altogether have the model of government of Kerala is we have three hub parks, and every district of its own spoke model parks. They are called district level IT parks. So almost three hub parks are already operational. That is Technopark, Infopark, and Kozhikode Cyber Park. Kozhikode is the third largest city in the state, and the six district level IT parks, spoke parks are already implemented, and work on five other district level parks are going on. This Technopark is a ISO 9001 2018 certified, and also we have CMMI level 4 certified, capability maturity model integrated. CMMI, it is a certification started by Carnegie Mellon University of USA, and this is a CRISIL AAA rated park also. So, in 16 years, TTBI incubated about more than 350 startups, and 60% of the companies graduated and moved to the Technopark main campus as of now. This Technopark TBI is called as Incubator of Incubators because we have created and supported 40 plus incubators in the state, as well as more than 100 IEDCs, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Centers in the state. Even before starting the technology business incubator program of government of India, Technopark actually started a technology business incubation center. It is in a very small scale for incubating new business ventures. That is in 2003 as an innovative initiative of Technopark, because During that time, we have entertained so many companies, big companies from India and as well as from outside India, and so many new companies are coming in, new ventures. But the problem was that time the new ventures had they didn't have the kind of business experience, and we decided to give them an incubation facility prior to starting a serious business. So that is why we have started this business incubation center, TPIC, and finally it is converted into the technology business incubator program in 2005, which is got approved by Department of Science and Technology in 2005. And later in 2014, it is renamed as Kerala Startup Mission, which spearheaded all the other entrepreneurship activities in the state, in which is in all these hub and spoke model IT electronics parks in the state. And after that, in 2007, we started the technology promotion program of outreach center of Department of Scientific and Industrial Research in 2007. The Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, that is DSIR, they have a program to support the innovations, basically non-IT innovations, and the program they are giving at that point of time about 40 lakhs for a idea presentation, then prototyping of the idea, then fine tuning of the idea for a technology transfer, make ready to transfer the technology, or patenting of the products, and finally enterprise creation. So now it is called the PRISM program, PRISM, promoting innovations in innovators, startups, and MSMEs. Now, and the quantum of amount, the quantum of grant in aid is raised to 72 lakhs. That is in three stages. The first stage is 1 lakh rupees. Second stage is 50 lakhs. First stage is 2 lakhs, then second stage is 50 lakhs, and the for enterprise creation and patenting, that is a level 3 support, grant support, that is 20 lakhs. And we have scouted about 600 plus non-IT innovations in Kerala. 24 of them were patented, and 42 innovations were funded by DSIR in a span of 5 years. And we have been awarded as the best TEP outreach center, and that is called the TUC, the best TUC in the country in 2010. 10 plus technologies were transferred by TCFA. Again, this TCFA is an agency working under TIFAC, Technology Commercialization Facilitation Agency. TIFAC is under Department of Science and Technology. More than 100 technologies were commercialized with the DSR funding. We are this Technopark Technology Business Incubator is a member of the Steps and Business Incubators Association, which is called ISBA in the country. The supporting organizations of the TBI, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board, NSTDB, Government of India, Adult Innovation Mission, AIM, Nidhi Aayog, Government of India, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. That is both NSTDB and Adult Innovation Mission. They are granting the technology business incubators basically in IT, electronics, and other manufacturing sectors. Department of Biotechnology is supporting biotechnology incubators. Now the name of the biotechnology incubators are called BioNest. Two BioNest are working in Kerala now. One is BioNest, which is started by the same Kerala State Startup Mission. That is in Kochi, and second is in a college, in an engineering college called Amal Jyoti College of Engineering in central Kerala, in Kottayam district. Two biotechnology centers or incubators are there. Then a Department of Agriculture, DOA, they are promoting agri-business incubators in the country. So many agri-business incubators in the country are now, and we have even 20 plus agri-business incubators are working in national R&D centers and agricultural universities in the state. Then Department of Electronics and IT, Government of India, Department of MSME. Department of MSME has they have a livelihood business incubator program. Even in Kerala also we have two livelihood business incubators are functioning. All these incubation centers are supported by EDII Ahmedabad, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. They are supporting in the sense they are giving training programs together with the NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, and they have so many courses also, short-term and long-term courses are also conducted by EDII Ahmedabad. Then another support is from Government of Kerala Electronics and IT Department. As I discussed earlier, TIFAC, Government of India, their TRIMA program is there. Then Technology Development Board is there. And TDB is giving funding to both the incubators for the seed money seed support system, and for the startups also which are incubated and graduated from the TBIs in the country. And now we can discuss the incubation admission processes. We have different stages of incubation processes, just like idea selection by invitation, co-founders evaluation, entrepreneur validation, initial screening and a quick look report of the idea, first internal filtration and knockout, second filtration and internal screening by internal committees. So these are the 6 levels of admission process of the startups into startups or new ventures, new businesses into the incubator, the technology business incubator. I will tell you once more, that is idea selection by invitation. We are inviting through newspapers and media or social media for inviting the ideas, and anybody, any citizen of the country, citizen of the country, citizen of India can apply if they have an idea, technology idea to the incubator. And incubator, first of all, we will evaluate, the incubator will evaluate the co-founders, the qualities of co-founders of the startup. Then entrepreneur validation. We want to know how far serious the founders of the startups are, how far they have the knowledge of entrepreneurship and like that, entrepreneurship validation. And if the co-founders pass through in all three categories, then we will have the initial screening by an internal team of the TBI screening, and we prepare a quick look report, place the quick look report before the committee, before the external, before the second committee with even with the external members also. The third filtration with the screening committee with external experts. Then final shortlisting and selection. Finally, the committee will shortlist the startup companies which can be incubated into, which can be admitted into the incubator. Admission to incubation stage. That is the first stage is pre-incubation. That is called the Gurukul stage or Udan stage, and next stage is incubation stage. For 3 to 6 months, we are giving pre-incubation for the startups. During that time, we will give them training on various disciplines like HR, finance, then technology, and so on. And when the idea is finalized, we will give them the incubation space with after signing the incubation agreement. There is an agreement for a space agreement is there. Normally, we will give space in seats, 2 seats, 4 seats, 6 seats, and 8 seats like that. And for each seat is priced in a Technopark. Initially, we have priced per seat. It is 2,500 rupees. Then after successful incubation, we will ask them to apply for seed support from the incubator. With the help of NSTDB and TDB, Technology Development Board, we have created a seed support system to support or for the startups which is selected for the incubation, which is selected for the incubator program as a bootstrapping money. Normally, the seed support will be ranging from 2 lakhs to 25 lakhs. 25 lakhs is the maximum cap. Then coming prototype monitoring and validation, etc. We will give them maximum 1 year for prototyping, and every month we have a monitoring committee, internal monitoring committee in the TBI. The TBI internal monitoring committee will evaluate them, validate the progress of the prototyping, and then if they want, we will help them to source funding through crowdfunding platforms, or tokenization fundings like that. Then next is the manufacturing stage. Third year is the manufacturing stage. Then we will help them to get angel funding and bank financing. Once the final product is ready, they will be in the growth stage. And during the growth stage, we will ask them to apply for a VC funding and pitching. And that is the third stage and the third year. And after the third year, they normally the startups will be allowed to sit inside the incubator only for 3 years, and after the 3 years they should go through for the growth stage and scaling up and graduation, and either they have to go for accelerators, go to get space in the accelerators around the TBI, or they can take space in the big incubator, that is a Technopark, Infopark or Cyberpark, and continue their work. The main criteria for startup to get admission into the incubator are, one is company registration certificate. They have to register the startup as a private limited company. So many registration formalities are there with the registrar of societies, just like starting from proprietorship, partnership, limited liability partnership, private limited company, OPC, one person company, then a public limited company, and the like. We normally allow the incubators to register either as an LLP or a private limited company. LLP is a limited liability partnership, and or a private limited company. But we advise them to initially get the private limited status, because normally if it is an LLP, to get funding, other than the seed money support, the funding like angel investment or VC funding or bank finance, or it will take a long time, or normally the bank will not give funding, or the VCs will not funding the LLP mode startups. So we need the companies to register as a private limited company with minimum 2 co-founders. Okay. And second thing is proof of innovation of the product, IPR. If the product is innovation, technology innovation, they need to apply for IP registration and the proof of IP registration. After 1 month or 2 months, they will get the registration number, and that number has to be produced before the incubator. Then the third criteria is the startup is should be within 10 years of their incorporation. That is very important. These are the norms fixed by government of India. All these details are in the Government of India Startup India registration rules and regulations. The annual turnover should be below 100 crores. Then they have to get the Startup India registration. The Startup India registration is they have to register as a startup with if they have all the above certifications like company registration, proof of innovation concept, then below 10 years and below 100 crores annual turnover and the like, then they should get a DIPP registration. The Startup India registration is called as a DIPP registration. DIPP is Department of Industrial Promotion, Policy and Promotion. But now the registration is DIPP is renamed as DPIIT. And this even then it is called as DIPP registration. They have to get the DIP registration, they get the Udyogadar, if it is an MSME in other sectors, they have to get the Udyam registration. Then they need to have um, the bank account, the current account, which should be opened in the name of the company and the like. Then GST registration is necessary. Aadhaar card is there, should be there. All the co-founders should have Aadhaar cards. Then PAN cards. The PAN card is very important. Then the other local registrations are there with the local bodies. That is, it is a shop and establishment license, import export code, IE code registration, then pollution control board registration, ESIC registration, employee state insurance registration, EPF, employees provident fund registration. Then all the co-founders, directors should have digital signature. Then DIN, direct index number. They should have SSI registration, etc. So all these registration certificates are necessary for any startup which is incubated in the technology business incubator, or if in the growth stage also, if they are going outside, it is very important. They have to take all these registrations. The startup, this is the registration formality and the operation formality of a startup company inside an incubator. Yeah, I told you about the registration, startup India registration also, and the other registration is necessary for the startups in the Startup India registration. Startup India registration as well as Startup India funding. There is a funding scheme, a seed money support scheme of Startup India program, that is called the SISFS, Startup India seed funding system. For a Startup India seed funding system, other than the DIPB registration and all, they need to have a certificate of funding by an approved incubator or a private equity fund or an angel fund, not less than 20% of the equity. That is necessary. Then a recommendation letter from the incubator also, a patron guarantee from a patent and a trademark office for innovation. Then details of the Government of India seed money support. All these certificates and licenses, proof of all the certificates should be made available by the incubators. As I told you, before going for the startup registration and getting the admission into incubator activities, we are giving idea programs for we are conducting idea hackathons or idea hunt program every year. That is, an annual idea hackathon is arranged by the incubator, even now with the Kerala Startup Mission and all the incubators in the country, all the technology business incubators in the country. We are giving away awards and prize money for best technology innovations, shortlisting the innovators for initial startup activities in the incubators, provide all sorts of mentoring support for selecting co-founders, for startup registration, sourcing the funding source, etc. And very successful program for identifying and selecting good startups in the which can be modeled by any incubator in the country. Then the next stage is the startup scaling up. As I mentioned earlier, the startups will be allowed to sit inside the incubator for a maximum period of 3 years. After the graduation, the graduation means pre-incubation, incubation, and graduation. Graduation is the growth stage. That is the third stage. During the after the graduation, they can go to outside locations and scale up their business. A startup is called a startup for 10 years only if it is an IT startup, and 12 years for a non-IT technology startup. After that, they are not entitled to any support under the startup schemes. Can move to accelerators and co-work spaces. The successful startups are normally scale up before the stipulated time frame, that is before 3 years. I have to detail about the seed support system. Even apart from the central government's allotment of seed money, the state government has also a seed support system for IEDCs. That is, the IEDCs called the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Centers. Another program officiated by the Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. They give IEDC status just like the incubator program. It is a pre-incubation program which is given to colleges which has not been qualified for the TBI program. They will be given the IEDC status. And for IEDC, Government of India is giving 1 crore grant in it, which can be 80 lakhs for capital requirement and 20 lakhs for 5 years operational expenditure. Just like that, Government of Kerala is also supporting the IEDCs in the state. We have created even now we have 283 IEDCs in engineering colleges in the state, arts and science colleges, and polytechnics. Even in Ayurveda colleges and medical colleges also, we have innovation and enterprise development centers. Altogether, 283 IEDCs were registered with the Kerala Startup Mission, and all these IEDCs are supported by giving 2 lakhs annual support from Kerala Startup Mission. And for startup companies which is registered with the incubators, KSUM is funding 25 lakhs each for product development, IT registration, company registration, etc. Then offers for women startups. It is a special group for every women startup, and a monthly allowance of 15,000 is given away by different states. It is not implemented in Kerala, but in different states in the country like Gujarat, Andaman Nicobar Islands, etc. The Andaman Nicobar has a very unique, very innovative program. That is any women startups, all women startups, all the co-founders will get 15,000 for the first 1 year of starting the startup company, and most of the financial corporations of the government, either the state government or central government, they are giving interest subsidy of 5 to 10% per annum to all these women startups. Annual award of 3 lakhs for excellent women startups countrywide. Many states in the country are giving this award for women startups. It is a support, even it's a support. They are taking it as a support for starting up. Then in Rajasthan, it is a Bama Shop fund is there. They created it's a government fund created with 100 crores, and this is given away only to women startups in the state. Women startup summit and women empowerment programs are there, started by Kerala Startup Mission in Kerala, and we have Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation. They have a women development program. It is called the V program, Women Entrepreneurship Program. Under the V program, whenever any startup company approaches them, they are giving away 25 lakhs to startups for scaling up. And if the startup is an all women startup, then under the women this V policy, they are giving the interest subsidy up to 5%. Then about the I am briefing about the central government seed money. NSTDB seed support system is there. That is the National Science and Technology Entrepreneur Development Board system support is there. Technology Development Board TDB seed support is there. Then Adult Innovation Mission AIM has seed money support through AICs, Adult Incubation Centers. Then DBT seed support, Department of Biotechnology seed support is there. Then Startup India seed fund scheme is also available. And then other funding sources for startups are grant in aid from government or other agencies like governmental agencies, government financial agencies like just like Government of India, that is IFC, Institute of Indian Financial Corporation, National Financial Corporation, Kerala in the state, it is Kerala Financial Corporation, and as I told you, that's Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, Kerala State Women Development Corporation. All these corporations, government bodies, government agencies have funding schemes available for startups in the state as well as in the country. Then innovation grants are there, as I have detailed about the DSIR TEP funding, then the DBT funding, and the TIFAC funding for technology commercialization, etc. Then CSR funding is available. As we know, Government of India has a program called the CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility Program. 2% of all the companies who have more than 500 crores turnover should earmark minimum 2% of their profits for CSR activities as a corporate social responsibility. In all the incubators in the country are enabled to get the CSR funding from the corporations and big players directly, and they can spend this funding either for the development of the for promoting the incubator program, or promoting the startups which are physically incubated in their incubators. Then incubator grant and soft loan or equity mode fundings are available. Crowdfunding, then love fund from family and friends. It is called a love fund. Love fund. The co-founders of the startup, other than taking money, the initial funding from their own pockets, they can source funding from their family members or from friends. It is called a love fund. Then angel funding is available from private people. Owners equity capital is there. Government guarantee funds like Mudra and CGT MSC schemes are available. Government funds through subsidies and interest waiver, self-employment assistance from government, accelerator funds private from the private accelerators in the country. Then private equity funds are available, international growth funds are available, bank long-term debt financing is available, banks working capital funding is available, then venture capital series A funding is available, SME IPO, that they can go for IPO, SME IPO, and it can be considered as a source of funding. Then tokenization funding. It can be fiat tokenization or a utility tokenization. Initially, that's the funding is in the initial period, the startups are not able to fund the services, and even they cannot give the required fee to their mentors and like that. And instead of giving cash, they can convert the cash into tokens initially, and once the company graduated and once the startup is successful, they can encash the tokens. It is called, it's a very new concept. It is called the tokenization, utility tokenization. Through utility tokenization also, they can fund the startup activities. So now we can move on to the mentoring process, mentoring activities. My experience with the Technopark Technology Business Incubator is we have created 4 categories of mentor pools. They are: one, technology angels network; second is business angels network; third is the quality standards angels network; and fourth is HR angel network. The mentors in the technology angels group, we have created this group with the available technologies, the very famous scientists and technology people in the state. We have so many government of India R&D centers around the Technopark. Even ISRO is the Indian Space Research Organization. Then CTCR is Central Tuberculosis Research Organization. Then Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology, Jawaharlal Nehru Tropical Botanical Garden and Research Institute. Then CDAC, Keltron, and like that. So many institutions are there. Even CSIR is there, IIST is there. In, with all these institutions, R&D institutions, so many scientists and very renowned scientists and technologists are working. We created a technology angels pool of all these scientists, and whenever on a requirement, on invitation, they will come and mentor the startups, the startup co-founders in our incubator. And in the initial time, They gave the service free of charge, and whenever incubator has money, we will fund these mandates. Then all the successful companies in the Technopark, other than the startup companies, the CEOs and the COOs, chief operating officers of all the CXOs of the companies, were ready to come and mentor this advise these startups, and that particular group is called business angels. So for the scaling up, for starting their marketing activities, selling activities, distribution activities, etc., even for market survey, preliminary market surveys, and survey in the community, and like that, they are supporting all the business successful businessmen with our Technopark companies are supporting these startups. So that group is called Business Angels Network. Third, Quality Standards Angels Network. Most of the startups in the TBI, whenever they want to go outside the country for a business promotion, the clients will normally ask them whether they have certifications like ISO certifications or CMM certifications and like that. So for that purpose, we have created a quality standards angels, experts in quality standards and like that, one angels network, and whenever they require the certification program, they will get the support of these mandates, quality mandates. And HR angels, HR angels are the HR executives, the HR managers in the companies in Technopark. We have a pool with all of them, and whenever any HR requirement, human resource requirement, recruiting requirements, and like that comes, they will go and sit in the recruiting board free of charge, and they will help these startups to get very good employees for their startup activities. Another program is called the Mentor in Residence Program. Apart from the pools, other than the outside the pools, we have so many mentors. And once if the startup needs the support of a mentor, they can go to their residence and get the support. It is called the mentor in residence support. Now the mentor in MIR is a famous mentoring program. With even whatever I said, the mentors pool is termed as mentor and residence, and in the IEDCs of the colleges also, they have so many mentors in residence, and for supporting the startups during their course of growth. Then the supplementary centers and programs with which helped the Technopark Technology Business Incubator to become a wonderful success. Why I said this? Normally, the success rate of the startups in India or globally, it is normally the experts are telling that it is 20%. What I am claiming in the case of Technopark Technology Business Incubator, we have a success rate of 95%. And the first reason is we are sitting in a business ambience, business ecosystem. It is a 100% business ecosystem with support from all these business people, successful business people. It is definitely possible for the startups to become successful. And the second thing is we have so many supporting centers, supplementary centers to help the startups to grow or to become successful. They are, as I discussed earlier, TEP Outreach Center of DSIR. It is Prism Center now. Then the National Center for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship. It's a training division of Technopark Technology Business Incubator, started in 2009. It is called NCIIE. Then a Technopark Software Engineering Competency Center. It is called a TSECC. It is formed to help the startup companies to develop their software programs, to validate the programs, and get a certification also. Then Technopark Angel Network. We have created an angel network with successful business people, successful companies in Technopark, and even employees of Technopark companies can also join that. And with that TIN, that's Angel Network, we are supporting the startup companies after giving the seed support. Then one entrepreneurs resource center is there. It is none other than a library, a resource library. Then centralized the quality certification project was there. Technopark patent facilitation center was there. We are interacting with the government level facilitation, patent facilitation center (PFC), which is with the Kerala State's Council for Science, Technology and Environment. Here it is called KS CSTE, and we are this is a Technopark Patent Facilitation Center was a sub-center of that Patent Facilitation Center of the Government of Kerala. Then the Technopark Project Facilitation Center for internships and projects of for the student final year, preparing a final year projects for the students of engineering colleges. We have created this project facilitation center. The students can be given live projects. Even they will get internships in the startup companies. They are able to work with the startup companies. They will the startup companies and handhold them. And after the final examination, even many of the students who took the final project or the internships in the startups companies will get jobs in the same companies. Then strategy, business planning and monitoring center, that is for monitoring the business planning and growth of the companies, startup companies. MSME business incubator was there with funding from MSME Department of Government of India. Then technology business incubation group. It is a group of all the startups of the TTBI. And even these startups, they have industry connect programs also. They are together to connect the startup in this industry connect programs. It is called a knowledge network and industry connect. Then technology commercialization facilitation agency under the TIFA Government of India, as we discussed earlier. Then a product design contest was announced by the TBI with the help of other some of the private companies in Technopark and Kerala. It is called a Techno. It is a very famous program, product design contest, in which many of the IITs and even IIMs of the country are participating. Then Technopreneur promotion program. It is a state level statewide promotion program called Technopreneur Promotion Program started by this TBI. Then Inspire program, which is giving awards to the best successful startups every year. These are the levels of the incubation program. That is first the virtual incubation. Even before the pre-incubation, if there is no space available, physical space available in the incubator, we are giving a virtual status to the startups. And that is called virtual incubation. Then the pre-incubation stage. Then co-incubation with the other incubators. If one startup is working in an incubator in Kochi, they will be co-incubated in Trivandrum and TBI also, because the proximity, then that is for the proximity of the market. They can even they will get the space in Trivandrum. Both in Cochin and Trivandrum, they will get the market of they can access to the markets in Trivandrum and Cochin. And if we have a company, we have an incubator in Delhi, and we have a co-incubation arrangement with a co-incubation agreement with the Delhi incubator, they will go to Delhi and get the space in that incubator, in the Delhi incubator, at the same rate which is given by the Trivandrum incubator. And the Technopark incubator have the co-incubation agreements with the AABI. AABI, that is the Asian Association of Business Incubators, with ICAP Brussels, with the UKBI, UK Business Incubator, then with the Canadian Incubators Association, even with the US Business Incubators Association. And we were able to send our startup companies after first year or second year to these incubators for getting for access to a European market or an US market or the international market. That is the co-incubation program. Then TBI extension centers were operated in other districts and other important cities in the state. Then network of technology business incubators. We have 40 incubators in the state, and all the 40 incubators are networked, and they are supporting each other in getting finance and getting spaces and all. Then Business Angels Network Kerala level, state level Business Angels Network we organized. Then Technology Business Agent Network Kerala, Faculty Entrepreneurship Program we conducted. Other than the Student Entrepreneurship Program in the IEDCs, the Faculty Entrepreneurship Program, that is called FEP, it is also organized. And network entrepreneurship programs, faculty industry immersion programs, FIIP, faculty internship programs, Idea Bank, rural innovators meet. Then created a gig platform for freelance software professions to work with the startup companies. Then we have just like the IT parks. We have industrial parks also, which coming under the Kerala Infrastructure Development Corporation. It is called Kinfra Industrial Parks. Now I am inviting your attention to the case study of Startup Village, which is started in Cochin. Initially, the Cochin Startup Village started by Kerala Startup Mission, that is a Technopark Technology Business Incubator, along with the first successful startup of the TTBI, that is MOPME Wireless Solutions. With MOPME Wireless Solutions, we have started the Startup Village Kochi in 2012, registered as a company as a company in April 2012, which is located in Kinfra Park at Kakanad in Kochi. They have created 10,000 plus telecom, fintech, and AI entrepreneurs. That is the highest number in the country, which any incubator in the country in India can produce. The theme of the startup village is it is called ITIH TBI, Indian Telecom Innovation Hub TBI, and they are promoting only startups in the telecom area. Telecom area means the telecom in financial technology, fintech area, and artificial intelligence also. Even now, they have so many blockchain startups also operating under the startup village. This startup village became a very world famous successful model, and the startup village team replicated this startup village in Hyderabad, Telangana, and Gujarat and Rajasthan also. Created 10,000 plus telecom, fintech, and AI entrepreneurs in Startup Village Kochi. National and international businessmen like Chris Gopalakrishnan. He is the Chris Gopalakrishnan is the co-founder of Infosys. And then M.I. Yusuf Ali. He is a very successful businessman from Kerala with Lulu Malls. Ravi Pilla. Ravi Pilla is a very successful businessman who is working from the Middle East. He is from Kerala. All these people have invested in the startup village. So it is the first incubator, the first technology business incubator in the country, started as a PPP model, a public-private partnership. Public partnership. Public partnership is in the model with the Department of Science and Technology funded it through NSTDB, and Kerala Startup Mission funded it, and these private people also funded it. So that is a success. That is the success of the startup village. All these points. That is. Even that is the first public-private partnership incubator. So if we associate or forced to associate the private people, the private successful businessmen to invest in the startups in the country. Even now we have so many co-working spaces in India, which is supported and funded by Department of Science and Technology, modeled this startup village Kochi. We have started satellite centers in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Visakhapatnam. This is a startup village. Myself is the founder director of this startup village Kochi as the MD of Technopark Technology Business Incubator. We have created several unicorn companies like Chiller, Profoundis, Unihalt, etc. from the startup village. Created an angel fund in association with the government of India, namely Startup Village Angel Fund approved by SEBI.